The story of Joshua is not just an ancient account. It is a living call to those who are willing to fight, not with weapons of iron, but with faith, obedience, and courage in the face of the impossible. Joshua was the one chosen by God to lead Israel into the promised land. But before he could conquer the promise, he had to face giants, walls, and wars, external and internal. After the death of Moses, God called Joshua and said, "Be strong and of good courage." It wasn't just an encouragement, it was a command. God didn't promise an absence of battles, but a presence in every one. And the first great test came at Jericho, a walled city impenetrable to human eyes. But God gave them a strategy that seemed crazy to march in silence for 6 days and shout on the seventh. It made no sense, but Joshua obeyed, and the walls came down, because obedience moves the supernatural. How many times in our lives are we faced with Jericho? Situations that seem insurmountable? In those times, the faith we obey is worth more than the logic we follow. Joshua didn't trust in swords, but in the voice of God, and that made him victorious. Joshua's journey was one of constant struggle. It wasn't enough to conquer, you had to stay. Each tribe had to take possession of its inheritance, and the war never ended. This reminds us that the Christian life is a daily struggle. The promised land is before us, but there are giants to be conquered, strongholds to be pulled down, and spiritual territories to be taken. In the last chapter of his life, Joshua stands before the people and declares, "Choose for yourselves this day whom you will serve, but I and my house will serve the Lord." He ends as he began, with firmness, faithfulness, and focus. His life is a call to spiritual warfare, a war won not by human strength, but by holiness, discernment, and total dependence on God. Like Joshua, we are called to rise up as warriors of faith. The battle is real, but victory has already been promised to those who march under God's voice. No matter how high the wall, if we march in obedience, it will come down. No matter how many giants rise up, if God is for us, who will be against us? Today, God is looking for Josue's men and women who don't retreat in the face of war, but go forward in faith and proclaim, "Nothing and no one will stop me, because God has called me to conquer." War is spiritual and the ground is holy. Prepare yourself, position yourself, for in Christ we are more than conquerors.